Stop wasting hours trapped behind the keyboard when you could be spending time building relationships, attracting new leads, and nurturing your clients. My content marketing agency, Catterick Media Boutique, specializes in VIP custom video editing and graphic design for coaches, consultants, and service providers just like you who want to show up and stand out online. Visit my website, martinecadet.com/podcast so you can get started today with your online presence. I look forward to supporting you. Darryll is here today to talk to us about goal setting, what it means to him, how does he do it? Because between you and I, life is hard and we have so many things we want to do, but yet we feel like sometimes we fall a little short. And is it because we're setting too big of a goal or we're not setting enough goals? Let's talk about that. You are listening on your favorite podcast provider or perhaps watching this show on your big TV screen. Regardless, I'm excited to have you. My name is Martine Cadet and I am the host of the Visualize and Create show. You will be able to meet amazing individuals that are going to inspire you, motivate you, and give you the tools for you to visualize and create whatever it is that you want. Make sure you check out the show notes and share this with a friend. And so, Darryll, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm excited to have you. And we're talking about goal setting. So tell us a little bit about how you go about this. How are you building your business? Because I know you're in business, right? And make sure that you maintain your goals, set your goals. Let's dive in.
Yeah. So the first thing I do when it relates to goal setting is I try to determine the season that I'm in. And this is kind of a faith principle that I live by, but I believe that when you know your season, that is the foundation of then going forward and building your strategy. I've always lived my life around combining three components to be successful: my season, my strategy, and my systems. Okay. And so when you think about what season am I in? Am I in the starting season? Am I in the learning season? Am I in acceleration season? And once you identify your season, then you can go forward and set your goal, right? Because I know the season that I am. I think this is one of the things that's missing from the coaching industry is a lot of times people say, oh, join this program, you grow 6, 7, 8-figure business. And it's like, but what season are you in business? What have we ever actually assessed the business enough to know if they're in a position to scale to those numbers yet? And a lot of times the answer is no, which is why people get frustrated. They buy courses they never finish, and they get into coaching programs that never produce results because they never ask themselves, what season am I in? And so when you know that and you set your goal, I've used several different, strategies before, SMART goals. I've tried Michael Hyatt's SMART-ter goals. And there's different strategies. For me, I pick a theme for the year that describes the year, which is for me, the equivalent of the season. And then I set a yearly goal, and then I set like a 90-day sprint goal, right? Like, what am I going to focus on in the first 90 days? And I try my best to be consistent. And I hate the word try because my coach always tells me, Darryll, that's a weak word. Don't say try. You either do or you don't. And so I execute on that 90-day action plan. And I'll tell you one of the things that helps me be consistent. I have this little, I wish I had it in my office, but I don't. I will show you. I have this little small dry erase calendar that is probably like, the size of my chest. And it just sits on my downstairs office. And it's 30-day calendar, and I put 3 boxes on each day. Okay. And my goal, because I'm a former athlete and I'm competitive, is to just win the morning, win the afternoon, win the night. And if I just keep winning the morning, winning the afternoon, and winning the night, I know that I'm going to win the goal. What happens is that people have this abstract goal. It's not specific. It's not measurable. It's not attainable. And then it's not in the right season. And then they don't have a way to consistently track. Or they just track daily, not realizing like, hey, daily is fine if you already have built-in discipline. But if you're trying to learn a new habit, you've got to micro track so that you make sure you stay on track throughout the day, right? Because how many times do we have a strong morning and then we hit a lull in the afternoon and we get like nothing done? And because we didn't get anything done, we feel guilty about the fact that we didn't get anything done. And then we try to like stay up to midnight and finish stuff that we could have got done in the middle of the day. And we don't have to do that, right? And let me just also say this, that it's not just about professional goals, it's also about personal goals. And setting goals for your family. Like what if you take one vacation a year, try to set a goal to take two. If you have one day off per week, try to set a goal that you get a day and a half off per week. Like make sure you're taking personal goals too, because those are so important, because I believe like the health of your business is often a reflection of the health of yourself. And so make sure you take care of you.
Oh, so powerful. You covered a lot
I
here.
know.
And, I definitely aligned with when you shared about make sure that you check in on the season where you're at.
Yeah.
And, I often say this to myself and to people around me and my clients. I say, you have to scale with precision. It's so important that, and it's not our fault, right? The internet makes it seems like, you could wake up tomorrow and have it all, when in fact, it takes time, but it takes strategic actions to get there, and setting goals is the way to go. I love that you shared your strategy on how you do that, and micro check in and tracking your performance is important. And so the one thing I want to talk about, as we're talking about setting the goals, and you mentioned you go at it as a theme for the year. So for the person watching or listening right now, and it's probably the middle of the year, it's not the beginning of the year, but yet they've tapped into this wonderful network because they have a vision and they want to start creating this reality for them, but it's not the beginning of the year. Are we telling them to wait until the end of the year and set those goals? What are your thoughts? Can you set goals any day of the week, any month of the year?
Yes, today. I think we forget that time is a man-made construct. That we came up with calendars and dates and hours, but time is it just runs on, And so if you ever study like some high performers, like one of the person, I used to think I was crazy because I told you the 3 boxes I break my day up into, and it's like everybody's like 24 hours a day. I'm like, well, it's like kind of 3 sections of a day, and I saw it differently. And the people are like, that's not how it works. I'm like, somebody hundreds, thousands of years ago came up with this system. And if I would have been the person that came up with it, I would have came up with the system I use today. So they don't get to dictate how I run my life today. I'm going to run my life how I run my life. Now, I don't get weird and like communicate to people like, hey, I'm in my midday section. It's not Tuesday. Like I don't do anything weird like that, but I do manage my life that way. And I remember listening to an Ed Milet podcast, and Ed Milet was like, hey, I consider I put 3 days into one day. Like he gets 3 days of work done in one day because he breaks his days up into 3 days. And I was like, I'm not the only one that does this. And so like you can start right now today. You don't have to wait till like the timing is perfect, because like you get, it's just based upon your decision. And so I would just highly encourage people that if you're overwhelmed, if you're like, man, I'm going to wait till next month, I'm going to wait till next quarter, I'm going to wait to like the beginning of the year until I then create some goal or start dreaming and putting some plans into place. So how I want to like where I want to be in life, where I want to be personally and professionally, I encourage you to start today. Set a 30-minute timer. Okay. And ask yourself the question, what's the state of my business? What's the state of my life? Because I can't get to where I'm going if I don't know where I'm at. This is where the GPS, where are you starting? Your location. I'm right here. So, okay, here's where I'm at. No shame in it, no judgment, no fear. Don't worry, because we are going to change all of that. So boom, I set my timer. I'm assessing where I'm at. Okay, I see I've got these gaps, these holes. I don't like this. I like this. Okay, now I see. Okay, now where do I want to be? Where do I want to be? That becomes my goal. Well, I want to be here. Well, when do I want to be there? Man, it'd be nice if I could just get there in like 60 days. That would be nice. Okay. Now, what do I need to do to get there? Well, I probably need to do, 10 calls a day, this. Okay. Now, who can I learn from that's already been where I'm trying to go? well, I'm going to call Darryll because Darryll can help me with public speaking, or I'm going to call so-and-so because they're expert at that. I'm going to call Martine because she's great with social media and organic reach. She's been where I've been. And then, okay, I'm going to have conversation with them, and I'm going to show up and I'm going to take this daily action. And then this is a ninja hack. Okay. You ready for an elite performer? As a former D1 athlete, I'm telling you, this is where a lot of people don't do. Ask yourself, where am I going to mess this up? Because what do? We plan for perfection.
Right.
Like, I'm going to lose 30 pounds in like 60 days. And I'm going to like work out 5 days a week. And I'm going to eat all healthy plant-based meals. And then like we start really strong. We last a week and then we fail and we just tumble out and just say, forget it all. Ask yourself, where am I going to fail? Well, I know that, man, you know, sometimes I hit that snooze button a couple extra times. Okay, what am I going to do to prevent myself from that? And you start setting safety nets for yourself, because this is called self-leadership. You cannot lead organizations until you can lead yourself. You cannot lead families until you can lead yourself. You cannot lose communities until you can lead yourself. Learn how to lead yourself. And you know that you know you better than anybody else knows you. So make sure you help yourself out by setting yourself up for success and not for failure. If you know you set a goal to read before you go to bed, and you know that if you read in bed that you're going to fall asleep, tell yourself, I'm not reading in bed before I go to bed. I'm going to read in a chair before I go to bed. That way you actually do what you said you're going to do.
I love all those real life examples, right? Because, and I appreciate you for bringing up the fact that as we set those goals, also remember how you could potentially not meet or fall short. And what do you do? Because it's really, really hard when you set those goals and say, yeah, I'm going to do, you know, I'm going to lose weight and work out 5 days a week. And you realize that that was too big of a goal. And then you give up altogether, right? That's not what we want you to do. And so I appreciate you walking us through those practical examples. And for you watching or listening, I'm hoping that you're taking notes. And, you know, as we proceed in closing this conversation, I want to make sure that you stay put so that you can hear how you can connect with Darryll and, you know, be able to follow what he has to offer to you to meet your goals as far as your business and things that you have going on in life. But before we do that, and for those of you listening on the podcast, I apologize if you can't see this, but I tell you, go tune into the TV network so you can watch the video. Darryll, you have to show the shirt that you're wearing because I love it. And I want everybody to see it. And again, if you're listening to the podcast, you're missing out. Definitely tap in and watch the video. What is your shirt saying right now? I want to see it.
My shirt says, you're enough, right? You're enough because you are enough. Society tries to tell you that you will be enough when you hit 7 figures. You'll be enough when your network is like Oprah's network. You'll be enough when your family is like taking vacations all the time and you have all the money you want and all the things you desire. The truth of the matter is that you're enough today just as you are, because there's only one you and you matter. And so when you choose to believe foundationally that you are enough today and not someday when you have more, when you are something that you're not yet today, that is what actually helps you to show up and execute every day and achieve the results that you desire in life, is because now you're working from affirmation and not for affirmation.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Now listen, I hear you clapping. I know you're clapping, listening to us in your car, probably walking your dog, or maybe you're watching on your screen and you're like, yes, Darryll, this is what I'm talking about. The people that come on this network are specifically curated to give you the tools, the inspiration to tap into the vision that you have, because if you want it, you can have it. Darryll and I did not wake up like this yesterday. We did, and we continue to do what we're saying to do that you need to do wherever you are in your season is watch amazing videos like this, listen to amazing podcasts like this, reach out to amazing people like Darryll, and start investing in you. And so I'm excited to have had the opportunity to be part of your season, for you listening and watching. And as we close, I want to hear more about how we can connect with you, Darryll. You mentioned, as you were speaking at the top of the conversation, in regards to, yeah, you can tap into Darryll so he can help you with public speaking. Talk to us about what you do a little bit more, and how can we connect with you? What's going on with Darryll? What's good? Give us the deets.
I help people get into the speaking industry. I've learned specifically that my clients are hiding behind 6 and 7 figure businesses. They may have done some speaking and some training, but they know that there's more of their story that needs to get out there into the world. And everyone's settling for their gift and their success. And Darryll is like, I see you behind it. And there's a story in there that the world has yet to hear. And I can help identify that story, form that story, and release that story into the world, so that, yes, you can make more income, but also make substantially more impact in the world. And so if you're out there and you're like, man, I know I've got a lot of different pieces of my story, don't know where to start, how to tell it, which audience to share it with. I'm doing some speaking, but I know there's more for me to do. I'm telling you, I'm your guy, because I've been doing this since 2012. I've been coached by some of the top speakers in the industry: Les Brown, Michael Port, Lisa Nichols, Pete Vargas. Who else am I missing? Grant Baldwin, a lot of top speakers. And I personally believe that I am rising and becoming one of the best speakers. And so I would love to get behind your message and elevate you and be Phil Jackson and allow you to be, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.
I love it. This is awesome. And so tell us, where do we go to connect with you and tap into becoming a speaker and sharing our stories and impact as many people as we possibly can?
Yes, hit me up on the website, darryllstinson.com. That's DARRYLL Stinson, STINSON.com. I love to connect with you and help elevate your brand and accelerate your impact.
And while you're at it, make sure you grab his book, right? Because he is a published author. And make sure you check in his YouTube, because you'll get to see how many views you have now in this TEDx talk you did.
I don't know. It's like 1,000,000, 100,000 plus. I don't know. It's over 1 million, and it's crossed the 100,000 mark, over 1 million. So
we're going to grow that, because for you listening and watching, you need to go watch this TEDx talk. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. I've watched it several times. I don't know if YouTube recounts how many times people watch, but I've watched it several times and I love it. And your book is out and anyone can tap into that too. And so Darryll, I appreciate you for taking the time to come on the show. I hope to see you again so that you can pour into us and make sure that we continue to visualize and create the life and business that we want. Because if Darryll can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Yes, you can. All right. It's a matter of you taking action. And so, Darryll, thank you so much for coming on the show. And for you listening, please, please, please do leave a review, share with your friends and family. For you watching, definitely reach out to us, reach out to Darryll, send him a DM on Instagram, right? Get to know each other, start the conversation. Don't be afraid, take that action. All right. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you again, Darryll, for coming on.
My pleasure. Wishing you all the best. Go visualize and create.